Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our anti-heroes have tested their explosives and locked down the town. Echo distracted the owner of the dagger shop. The Forsaken planned to burn the shop to the ground. And Quinny flew into the sky to test the explosives where there weren't any people around. But what will happen now that Baldur's Gate is being locked down? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Alarms ring out across Baldur's Gate, announcing some form of calamity, some form of chaos that has occurred within the city. As is always the way when these sorts of alarms ring out, immediately guards the watch begins returning to the upper city. People begin to be forcibly ejected from the upper city. Lower city, people are heading for their homes. Various guilds and crews begin to take to the streets. You see all manner of kind of professionally adorned crews beginning to appear. There's like a bunch of barbers out in the street with scissors between their fingers and other things. Baldur's Gate takes care of its own when there's no law and order, and there certainly isn't down here. And yes, immediately there's a sense of people rushing to the streets to be like, what's wrong? What do we got to fuck up? And civilians taking cover and fleeing for their homes. As a second sun briefly emerged over Baldur's Gate, hurled and shot by our very own Quinny Brownbarrow, a.k.a. the Hitman. So, Quinny, you've just returned to ground. The bells are ringing. Baldur's Gate is entering a state of lockdown. What do you all do?
Hey, what happened?
We tested the bomb that you guys wanted to know worked. So, it clearly does, and that's caused a big panic. But
yeah, because I told you not to do it in the middle of town. I don't have an answer for this, and I can't transport this stuff, so you guys are going to have to do that. I don't know if you want to try to do the bombing while all the guards are out, or if we just hide out for a couple days. What do you want to do, Hitman? This is your plan now.
I think we can proceed.
Okay.
I'll need a little bit to charge back up again so that we can pop in and out for dispersing these.
Should we just duck in somewhere and hide for a bit?
We could do hiding while I recover. Yeah. That'd work. Yeah.
Okay, great. Do you want to carry the high explosives?
Sure, give them to me.
Alrighty, they're all yours.
It's not like you'd be any better off if you're standing beside me while I carry them.
Oh, that's why I'm going somewhere else. And he's just going to dash 60 feet away.
Okay.
Oh, so I should protect you from the fire damage. Okay.
And I will cast protection from energy, specific fire.
Great.
All right. Quinny, this is a big, heavy box. How do you plan on moving this thing?
So this was my question, was we can all carry as much of this as we wanted? You were saying?
It's a big, in as much as it is metal box with a breakable glass orb inside. Mm-hmm. There are 5 of these things. So it's a big, heavy crate. Mm-hmm. But yes, if you want to individually move each one, yes, you can. I'll just make you roll to not jostle it too much.
I can just take them out of the crate and then just pocket them.
Can't pocket them. They're big.
Oh, they're
like
big.
bowling
Okay.
ball sized.
Okay. Then I'll stack them and just start walking with them.
Okay. I'd say you can comfortably carry 3.
Okay.
In a stack.
Seeing
they're
this
heavy?
Forsaken's even further.
Yeah.
He's
the metal boxes that the orbs are contained within are heavy.
Okay.
Because they are meant to contain explodey bits. So I need probably an athletics and an acrobatics. I need to see how well you carry it, and then also
athletics is a 15.
Yep.
Acrobatics is a natural 20.
Quinny, it may just be because you don't actually believe in the destructive power of these things, or you just believe in yourself so much.
Yeah, it's just I'm carrying these and oh, I'm the Forsaken. I'm scared of explosions.
Yeah. I mean, you got 20, so I can't stop you. Yeah, you're able to move the boxes.
Can't hear me.
No, he's far enough away. He can kind of see it, but the Forsaken also has burn scars and hasn't died. Yeah. So he feels like he's got 2 lessons he's learned.
Yeah, so
I have been blown up. It's not that bad.
You move tell that to our listeners. You move that into, let's see, you're probably still close enough. You're probably in Heapside, so close enough to the store. Where would you be able to duck in? I mean, there's probably, you pulling into a back alley, or do you want to get into a building?
I think a back alley.
First one, then the other.
Sure. Okay. Well, you know what?
Sounds good. Yeah.
With lockdown happening, people are probably like locking their stores up and fleeing for their homes. So yeah, you can step into a back alley. Can you give me a sleight of hand? You can use advantage because you're picking a lock. So use your.
Now we're at a 16.
All right, that's more than fine. So yeah, you pick the lock of like a bakery and just like tuck into the back there.
Yeah, 31. So yeah.
You pick every bakery. Every bakery opens to you.
Right.
So you're able to stack the boxes in there, and you can get a rest and have some food because there's just bakery stuff everywhere.
I want chocolate croissant.
There you go. Yeah, that's my birthday gift to you. Go have a croissant. What? You don't want one now?
No, but birthday gifts are better when they're surprises.
Okay. Then it's not my gift to you.
Okay.
Surprise. Just eat a damn croissant, Echo. I will find you something horrifying to play with.
Yeah, the tour wasn't good enough.
That was not okay. I need you to look at me and tell me that you know that this is all a cover and that I'm not actually your dad.
I know, but
Okay.
I don't get to play a lot.
That I understand. Your dagger game is frightening. I'm glad you got to play it with
no one wants
Zambia.
to play it with me.
Well, we can go back to the Elf Song Tavern after this is all sorted. And you can play with the immortal child who is not scared of being punctured.
Yeah. It's more fun when they can get hurt. Anyways.
Meanwhile, down the street, Forsaken and Captain Puppy.
Forsaken is just staring at the bakery they've gotten into from like 120 feet away in an alley, just smoking a cigar and loathing everything that is
Goblin
occurring.
Jr. keeps sniffing the air, kind of looking at you with classic dog, maybe treats though eyes.
The Forsaken looks down, but just looks into the cold, dead mascot eyes looking up at him, and he's like, "Yes, Captain Puppy, we were betrayed. This is the pain we will always know, being the strongest and the most feared, and yet mistrusted. Truly, we have to be our own gods, and then kill ourselves."
Goblin Jr. just kind of looks at you, looks across the street to the bakery, and just trots over the bakery.
Ooh, the betrayal.
Lesson learned.
He grabs a croissant and then he just trots back over
Okay.
and sits down next to you chewing.
I guess I see Goblin Jr. come and get a croissant.
Comes in, he's like, "Sorry, gods to kill."
What? You need a croissant to do that?
No,
You didn't take a chocolate croissant, did you?
no, that's poisonous to me.
You're smart, Captain Puppy.
Thank
Are
you.
you getting something for the Forsaken?
No, he has a cigar that smells bad.
All right.
He's mad at you. You should say you're sorry. Trots back out.
Why is he? Ooh, I need to rest. Ooh, I need to rest. I need to take a little break. Oh, I'm so mad.
So you guys take a short rest, brooding across the street from each other, while Echo enjoys a non-birthday croissant. Goblin Jr. enjoys a regular croissant. He's got to keep his energy up for god killing, I guess. You see patrols in the streets, and again the bells just keep ringing. But there's also a bit of you can tell. I think all of you have experienced enough kind of town watch behavior and everything else. There's just some general confusion because like the explosion happened, it didn't hurt anything. No one's taking credit for it. It's not an occasion. Like it's like a big thing happened and no one can fucking piece together why. So there's a lot of like panicked running around in the streets, but with no purpose.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the guilds and crews are kind of out in the street, with cudgels and stuff going like, are we under attack? Like what's so there's a weird sense of tension, but also confusion, boredom, and like vague frustration that everyone like came out ready to fight a dragon and there's no dragon. So a lot of chaos in the streets, but that's what you observe over your hour. I know you guys are resting. Forsaken, are you resting or are you just...
He's already done his short rest. He's 100%. This was supposed to be just on the path to a very clever massacre. So he's just smoking a cigar, staring. It's just that Matthew McConaughey cigarette meme. Just staring forwards, wide-eyed.
Yeah. Eventually, Goblin Jr. does go back to the bakery and just like brings you a variety of anything that looks vaguely dark, like a croissant. He arranges like a sad face, and like a couple of buns that he gets you a couple of hot cross buns, and then he just like tears the cross off them. And it's like, arr?
Yes. He eats one as he stares into the distance.
Great. All right. So I guess that's how you pass your collective short rest. There's confusion in the streets. Still a lot of people milling around. What do you do?
Now that I'm rested up, I can move these with Dimension Door.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not close enough to the slaughterhouse to do it from this bakery, are we?
Correct. You're in the wrong district.
In the wrong district. So I can...
There's probably a bakery cart if you want to load it up. It's just all the dangers.
Like the smoothest thing would be like just instantly being 500 feet away kind of thing. And I'm thinking, Echo, we should probably bring in the Forsaken so we can figure out this next part, and I'll just go out the back of the bakery and just like wave you over, the Forsaken.
The Forsaken, looking down at the sad face, just steps on its eye and then stalks forward out of the darkness. Yes.
Mr. Forsaken, would you like a macaron?
No.
Okay, more for me.
All right, so we know that they work, and they work really, really well. You say a second sun, so it's like how big would you say that fireball would have been?
I mean, it was super bright and a big orb of fire.
Super bright, big orb of
but
fire.
like it wasn't the size of the sun. It was. It didn't, okay. Yeah, it's not like the traveler from Destiny over a town. And,
yeah. Okay.
Or the companion, I think they called it in El Chirel. That was just the traveler from Destiny over a town.
Right.
It was just a big fucking explosion in the sky.
Okay. Cool. But it looks like it'll get the job done.
The 5 that you have compared to the slaughterhouse size you saw will definitely take out that slaughterhouse and might damage the ones next to it.
Okay. But there's just the one slaughterhouse that the Bloody Hands
they own
use.
All of them.
They own all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
BJ and the Bloody Hands are overseeing all the slaughterhouses. So there's like,
but the plan was always to blow up only one. As I understand
the plan is to make it inhospitable enough that Tabby, the owner of the slaughterhouses, is like, whoa, you promised me business would be better here, and my slaughterhouses are blowing up.
Yeah, okay.
So we're moving back to the place where I never had a single slaughterhouse explode.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it. Thank you. So here's what I'm thinking. I can Dimension Door myself and Echo. We can each carry 2 and 3 of these. And we can travel a pretty good distance, about 500 feet. It's not far enough to get us into the slaughterhouse from this bakery, but maybe I hop once, I need to do a rest again, hop twice, and then I've got enough juice to jump back out of there after we set the bombs. The only question mark is I don't know if the Harveys are in the slaughterhouse anymore. That was going to be a Warwick and grandson buddy thing. I don't know if the plan changes now that you don't want to do that.
I mean, I'm just trying to track the logic. So you teleport it, and then you teleport it, and then when you get the bombs into the facility, how are you setting them off?
I tell the unseen servants to bring them to the structural points and then to set them off.
Okay, so you appear in the middle. If they attack the bombs, good luck to them. That all makes sense. You're in, you're out. But you need Echo to be able to be there, which means I can't have Grandpa Warwick for the general luring.
That's the thing, too, is you don't want to be in the building when we blow it up anyway, so what's the Warwick lure looking like?
I got a small pitch I'll give to you guys as a thing that, Ryan, you actually came up with a couple episodes ago that might work. If you're putting the volatile bombs in a bag of holding and then teleporting with it, that's not going to jostle them the way the tummy bag would. The tummy bag was really every time he takes a step, these things are rattling around and could explode. So if you wanted to lose the Echo part of this plan and take the bombs, you theoretically put them in the bag of holding. Quinny could do the teleporting. Grandpa Warwick and Big Buddy could do the lure.
Wait, what's the difference? Wait, whose bag of holding? Quinny's?
The tummy bag.
I don't have one. Yeah, it's just...
I was going to say, wait, I don't understand. What's the difference?
Currently, Quinny needs you to carry half the bombs.
There's a tummy bag, but the tummy bag is the bag of holding.
That's correct.
But he's saying we could use the bag. It's the way Butthole carries it is the problem with it jostling things inside it. Whereas it could be carefully, especially with a teleportation.
If he teleports, like if he teleports and is just like on the ground and teleports to another place and just like places it on the ground, that's fine. What isn't fine is like going for a walk and then like, oh.
Gotcha.
Rumbly tummy.
Yeah. So.
Yes, admittedly, the problem with the Warwick plan was we'd planned something we could time to get in and out.
I think
this is a highly volatile globe.
Yeah, these are the only explosives we got, right?
I didn't have time to find more. No, that is correct.
Okay.
However, if we went back and killed Larry, we could take time searching his shop.
I'm fine with that. I just didn't want the explosion that happened way up there in the sky and set the whole city into a panic to happen at ground level.
Yeah, then it wouldn't have caused a panic. It would have just been a fire. That would have been a real tragedy.
It absolutely would have caused a panic.
I don't know. I guess we'll never know.
No, I know. Don't tell me what I know. I know.
Plans within plans.
Wait, so we have to go back to Larry now?
Yeah, to kill him, though.
Oh.
There's a gem in the ceiling that does magic missile, just a heads up. Why don't you two have a good time doing that? I really don't care either way about this Larry guy. I can come if you want, but it sounds like I'm carrying highly explosive
I'm not sure.
bombs.
Hitman, what do you want to do? I understand the plan to get in. What do you need from Warwick and I? How do you think it's going to work with the lure?
It sounds like you two just have a rapport with old crime boss guys. You befriend them. You go to bars and piss outside. What were you planning on doing to get them to stay in the slaughterhouse or go into the slaughterhouse with you when we set off the explosives? Did you have an idea of how that conversation would go?
It just kind of worked out the last time we did it, so I assumed two old men, same building. I hadn't really thought of how to get out. I thought the explosive would be weaker.
I imagine it would have been a similar situation where Grandpa Warwick made a best friend and then had to leave suddenly, and then the best friend died, and Grandpa Warwick was sad and became a wolf.
Oh. Becoming a wolf is part of the plan.
I don't know.
Death Wolf was powerful.
I guess if Death Wolf is still your friend when it comes out.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. So
Death Wolf and I, bosom buddies, one might say.
Okay, so you didn't know how you were going to get
I'm not
them
the plan
to.
guy.
No, that's fine. I'm just.
Neither is Grandpa Warwick.
I believe that. Did you have an idea of how you were going to sort of meet cute Grandpa Warwick and
last time I took Grandpa Warwick near where the other person was and set him loose, knowing that an old man would stagger towards the same place any other old man would stagger forwards. I figured he's a natural bob finder.
Quinny, can you roll me a...
It's sounding more and more like it was a miracle that it worked the first time.
Roll me a perception check.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
The first gang came to us.
Yeah, but remember, Quinny was not there for any of that, so he's learning it now. Perception, you say? 9.
9. Yep.
So I'm fine to look for timed explosives, better explosives. Are you going to want to test each and every one of these because they come from this Larry guy? If we go in there,
I think a better question would be: do you want to try to enact this plan with explosives we haven't tested?
Wait, I don't understand. You want to test all the explosives by blowing them up and then blow them up again? That's not.
Listen, my plan was just one firebombing, and then this all would have been fine.
We already tested.
No, we didn't.
One.
We did a different thing.
Goblin Jr. starts tugging on your sleeve, Forsaken.
What do you want, Goblin Jr.? I mean, Captain Puppy? Fuck.
Yeah, he gives you a glare.
It's been a time, okay? Everyone's being weird.
He was like, Snorf, and like runs into a wall and falls over and does a head thing, and then like gestures at Echo, and then leans outside and it does the pointing dog thing. Quinny, you hear him be like, "Whoa, there's my friend now!" And it bumps into the wall, and then he looks, and sure enough, down the fucking street to get this shit moving is Dad Bob and BJ Harvey with a bunch of goons. Just like making their way in kind of a small Assassin's Creed guard group through the district on their way to the slaughterhouses. And Goblin Jr.'s just like, "Get the old man now, Snarf."
Goblin Jr. sees the Harvey, last name Harvey? Yeah.
BJ Harvey, yes. And Dad, Bob.
Yeah. Goblin
With
Jr.
goons.
What's Goblin Jr.
Mr.
saying?
Puppy? Yeah, puppy guy.
Captain Puppy.
Captain Puppy. I knew.
Respect the rank.
Well, yeah.
I'll make you walk the plank. Yars, yarf.
Captain Puppy, a weird rapping, rhyming dog. Okay. Captain Puppy
Yes.
says that the Harveys are actually out in the street right now, so you can Warwick up right now, Echo, and
Or just hit them with the explosives.
Why don't we just kill them right now?
I mean, we could definitely. It sounds like there's a lot of them, but yeah.
Jesus, get them both.
Well, you two like to murder so much. Get out there and have some fun with it. But we ultimately also have to blow up a slaughterhouse. How many are out there, Captain Puppy?
Yar. I appreciate it. There's 6 guards with like the big butcher guys you saw before. With the 2 of them, and they're just like booking it down the street, kind of talking animatedly to each other.
Okay, they're moving fast, and there are. I mean, we were in there in the slaughterhouse. There's like swole butcher guys, but there's about 6 of them. If you think you can take 6 big dudes,
I don't know. I didn't go in there. Can I?
Look out the window. Look at them and tell me if you can kill them.
Should I just rain down an ice storm?
This is all.
Okay,
on the table.
Why don't we why don't we go with some fun stuff? If you do the ice storm, then you can teleport over and hit them with all the explosives, and then if they're still alive, I'll kill the survivors.
All right,
I
give me a
think
second.
that's perfect.
Give me a second. This is the part where the DM kills himself.
Yeah, I say, give me the bag of holding so I can move around with these explosives.
Oh, okay, just a second. He has to dump everything else out of the bag onto the floor of this bakery. Okay, here you go.
So we'll come back for that. I want to put these things, stack them into just open it up and just stack them into the bag of holding and seal it up
Santa
over them.
sack style. Yeah.
And just carefully over my shoulder, and I'm going to try and basically make my way up.
Wait.
What?
Echo grabs like several like big loaves of bread, like
What
massive
is this?
ones.
I have to sticking it between them so they don't clatter against each other. It's cushioning.
Hitman, do you want a macaron?
No,
Just for luck?
I want to go home. I do not. Thank you, Echo, but these are stackable boxes. Do not interpose bread between them, please.
We're cushioning you, jostling.
I'm going to be the cushion. I'm going to carefully carry this.
All right, so fire up the ice storm.
All right.
I would like to get onto the roof to be able to throw down an explosive.
Okay. Let's get an acrobatics followed by stealth, please. And your second story work applies. So
That is for distance. Climbing no longer takes extra movement. I add my dex mod to the length of jumping.
okay, then
So-
we can cut the acrobatics, and that's fine. I'll just take that skill as
Okay.
it would make sense to me.
I got the
second
boost of
story.
springing and striding, so that also gives me...
Great. Yep. So you're up there.
Okay.
Still need the stealth.
You want the
please.
stealth, okay. 16.
I also got a 16. What do you add to yours? I add 6.
I had 15.
I know.
Oh, okay. It's another thing of like, I'm just so casual about it. I've been dad for this thing. So it's just like I jump. You like see me at ground level, like jump. And by the time no one sees me, but I when I land on the roof, I am dressed as the hitman, like skull gear, the hat, the cape,
Perfect.
and everything.
Yeah, love it. All right, so you're making your way across the roofs. Echo, you're casting an ice storm? Mm-hmm. What happens?
The nice thing is that it's very easy because Echo, she's just like basically doesn't really have to do much. So, and it's like can be from 300 feet away. So she can just like stay as long as she can see.
Laura and Echo are merging
Yeah.
I know.
in a way that makes Ryan nervous.
So she's just gonna hang out in the bakery,
Okay.
look out from the window, and 40 feet above the guards, a 20-foot radius cylinder, so basically a 40 by 40 cylinder, appears through which a hail of rock hard ice pounds to the ground.
Okay. What happens to the people who get hit by said?
Dex saving throw DC 16, please.
Oh, yeah, these big goons are great at dex saves.
Oh, they got a certain amount of like butcher dexterity.
Yeah. So Sorry, what's the DC?
16.
Okay, so all of them fail. Bob shoves BJ in the way of the ice in an attempt. He just goes like, "Sorry, baby doll, everyone for himself," and shoves them in the way, and then also slips and falls. And yeah, they're just getting pummeled by ice. The goons are just kind of like, shouldering it, but it's raining down.
9, 10. So they all take 14 bludgeoning damage and 15 cold damage. And they're now in difficult terrain till the end of my next turn.
Okay, all right. Great.
Those are just like boulders of like hail.
Yeah. That sucks. All right, and then Quinny, you're hucking a bomb.
I think I was. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I wasn't sure whether the Forsaken was going to bust anything out either, but it sounds like it's just hail and then hail of bombs. So I'm going to take out one bomb because that leaves 4 now for blowing up this slaughterhouse. This is a finite asset, and I'm going to go to the ledge, take it out of its delicate casing, and kind of just lob it gently so that it lands in the center of the street. I would look actually with these alarms and everything going off. The street is clear. Yes,
people get out of the way of the kingpin of. Well, I mean, the hail they didn't know was coming, but
but he's actually between a children's hospital and an orphanage.
the kind of stuff I need
surrounded
to make sure.
by puppies.
I don't want to hear about this after I've thrown the bomb. You see, I want to know about it before.
People, you see a kingpin moving through the street with a bunch of giant goons. You kind of just politely get out of the way. So no, you're free and clear.
All right, I'll lob it, and as a bonus action, I'll leave it. I was thinking about spending magic, but too many rests. Even though they're short rests, too much stopping. We'll just go.
All right.
So I'm just going to lob one from the roof.
Can you roll me a ranged attack, please?
12 for throwing stuff that can be strength or dex.
I'll let you have
can't
dex on this
remember.
because it's like throwing a baseball.
So 12 plus 5 for
Big
17.
baseball.
I'm not proficient in throwing bombs, so just plus 5. 17.
Yep,
That's my total.
All right. So ice is just raining down. Bob just looks up and just takes a chunk of ice to the face and goes down. BJ's getting pummeled into the ground, slipping, cracks his head off the sidewalk.
Jeez, did I even need to throw this?
I mean, the goons are still up because they're big and hardy and they're like trying to cover the boss, but like both of them are just like, Laura did an obscene amount of damage to like 2 civilian villains. And then the goons are kind of like, protect the boss. It's like, oh shit, we gotta res these guys quick. Come on, let's drag them. And then one looks up and goes, hey, what's that? And there's just a burst of flame. And it's just Sarah Connor and fucking Terminator, when she has her dream of what the nuke going off is. They're just obliterated. Like the whole town square that they're walking through is just wiped out. Windows shatter around it. Cobblestones are blown apart. Crater is left in its wake. Ice continues to rain down. And various crews kind of rush in to see what happened. And again, it's just like who, where, what. But like you guys are in a bakery. You're sneaking up on a roof. There's nothing to fight. It's just like a bunch of people are suddenly dead and no one really knows why. So more panic, more, shouts for guards. A small group of flaming fists show up to investigate, but they also don't know who got killed because there's nothing to investigate. So yes, general panic and chaos.
All right, then gently I climb back down to the back alley entrance of the bakery and say, "Job's done. Let's go."
Just a second, I need to find the bag. And he's going to go and just take a big shopping bag and put all his other shit from
like a sack of
the tummy
flour,
bag
just
into
empty
a
it out.
sack.
Yeah, okay. Yep, great.
All right, we can blow up a slaughterhouse, threaten someone named Tabitha, and then call it a night.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. I need how are you getting to the slaughterhouse now? You're just running through the street?
Strolling down the street.
This comes back to then the bag not being adequate because you're walking around with it, right?
Yep.
So then I say come to me.
Well, look, anything can be adequate. You just have to be slow and careful.
Yeah. I don't think we want to be slow and careful so close to an explosion kind of thing.
Fair.
So I'm just going to say I'm out of here. I'm going to go to what's a good point for us to meet up at our old meeting point. That was actually close enough that I could get into the slaughterhouse.
Oh, the place outside Stony Eyes.
Out the outskirts of Stony Eyes, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I will meet you there, okay?
Okay.
I can do this with someone smaller than me, so Echo, if you want, you can come with. Do you want a
I'll
companion?
go for a walk. This is fine.
Okay. Coming with then, Echo?
Yeah.
All right. And I will cast Dimension Door.
Great. You're dimension dooring directly into the. No, you have to double jump to get.
Yeah. So I'm going to get there ahead of him, and I'm going to spend the time resting up again, doing the Warlock rest.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you teleport to the edge of Stony Eyes. You can see, like, again, there's general panic here. There's porters in the street, basically watching out for each other, but there's so much cargo being moved that they kind of have to protect the cargo that other porters dropped. Mm-hmm. So you can see crews occasionally trying to like make attempts at it, and porters are fighting it. It creates a good amount of kind of visual chaos to allow you to just kind of tuck in. There is no... you see a number of... you're far enough away from the slaughterhouse that you don't have line of sight, I think, at this point, right?
No, we were a ways away when we met.
Okay, so you hang out there. Again, like, you can hear the alarms going off at the slaughterhouse, even at this distance, which are separate from the bells ringing in the upper city. Forsaken, is there anything you'd want to do along the way or anything you'd be looking for in particular?
This is kind of really just a chance to move. Mm-hmm. But I think it's also a chance to see if the Nightmare Lord's got a grip on the town. I know the players that are loyal to the city at this point. The Flaming Fists are back under the Duke's control. We know there's like Luck Duck, he's not going to be around. The Darkness, they're not going to be around. But this is a chance to be like, is there anybody who's not a clear gang player? Like, is there another shadow security force that he can see with agents moving around? He's not going out of his way to look for it, but it's like, oh, are there tells? Like, in this time of crisis, is the Nightmare Lord flexing the same way everybody else is to prove control?
Okay, can you roll me perception, I guess? Maybe insight?
Yeah,
I'll take
sure.
insight. I know you're not butthole right now, but it still feels
31.
like the way yeah, okay. Interestingly, no, you're not seeing any... You are seeing various groups trying to like shoot their shot and everything else, but you're not seeing any evidence of that in the streets right now. With a 31, if you were to venture a guess, this is a lot of chaos very quickly with no clear point, and everyone who's out here in the streets running around and doing stuff is A, exposing themselves, and B, could be an easy target. So this feels more like a wait and see what's happening than a, like, send out my emissaries to bring order to this.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But also further to kind of your goals of destabilization, you see crews and guild groups out helping each other. You don't see the Nightmare Lord's not out handing out like bandages and water.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep. Okay, that said, also with a 31, you are very certain you're being watched.
Yeah, I'm a big guy with a beret covered in flames who's been actively fucking things up. That checks out.
Yep. Great. So you arrive to the meeting point. Quinny, you've rested up. Echo, what have you been doing in the downtime? Just observing?
Yeah, she'd use that time to just keep an eye, just passively observe the goings on. Mm-hmm. Especially just because it's been so the panic and everything, just seeing how things are returning to normal, if they are, like,
okay,
who's around.
Can you roll me perception then?
14.
As someone who kind of revels in chaotic violence, you can tell that even with kind of the minor stabilization pieces you've been able to indicate, this whole place feels like it could go off anytime. Like, there's a strong kind of territorial element to, like, the porters are all protecting their stuff,
Right.
but it's like the porters v everyone. There's an undercurrent of violence and uncertainty. You've seen places where there's order and, like, no one wants to step out of line. This is not true here. This is everyone is 1 inch from knives out at all times. The only thing that seems to be preventing that is literally no one knows where to point the finger right now. So it's a lot of like that, but you can tell it's a very delicate
Hey, Quinny.
state.
Yes.
So, you know how like when you see those posters around and they say, see something, say something?
Yeah.
And they're largely ineffectual because of the bystander effect?
I guess.
I think they'd be effective now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I think we have to be maybe extra careful.
Well, okay.
Because if people see something weird, they're going to get really scared because they're scared and they had no resolution.
Okay, well, that's what these covers are for, so good idea.
Just saying.
Forsaken appears. All right, so I'm here, but we're going to need to move fast because I'm definitely being watched.
Oh, well, all right. I mean, hey, I'm rested up, so,
Well,
you know.
who's watching you?
That I don't know. I felt pretty observant, but I couldn't quite place it.
Okay, well,
But don't worry, because of the bystander effect, most people who see something won't say something.
I guess I'll be right back.
I don't think that's the case right now.
Oh, well then we'd better move really fast.
Echo was just saying that, yeah, if people see something, they'll probably say something.
Oh.
Given how many explosives have gone off today, and
Or they might
4
just
more
straight
are
up
about to.
attack.
or that. If you see something, slay something.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that while I'm here. You guys go blow up that building.
Yeah. I had the bag of holding to free up Grandpa Warwick. Grandpa Warwick was there to talk to the Harveys. The Harveys are dead. So we're back to Echo. Do you want to come with for this, or I can do this alone? If someone's following the Forsaken, do you want to, fortify
Yeah,
this spot? This is where I would like to come back to.
Maybe we should divert whoever's following Mr. Forsaken away from where you're going to be.
Maybe. I just want to be safe when I get back here because I will be magically tapped out.
Well,
So-
we'll blend in with the shadows here, Murder Child and I, and if things become dark, perhaps we can summon Death Wolf.
Yar, snarf, says Goblin Jr. looking like we got a wolf. Like,
Captain
come on.
Puppies agreed.
Snarf.
Roving wolves, of course, they will be under Captain Puppy's leadership.
Snarf.
Doesn't require translation, just I'm intrigued. You can just tell.
Just be careful, Captain Puppy, because if I become Death Wolf again, I don't know. I mean, I think Death Wolf will listen to the Forsaken, but I don't know about you.
Oh, you'll listen to Captain Puppy, Death Wolf.
Yar, snarf.
Yes.
Well, we'll find out.
Quinn, you just hear something about rank again, respecting rank as you dimension door. Okay, great. So, as I understand it, then Forsaken and Echo, you are going to try and divert or spot the.
Just hold position, but blend into the shadows. If somebody
Disappear,
comes at
sure.
us, we'll be ready for them.
Great.
Oh, okay.
And Quinny, you are going to teleport into the slaughterhouse.
Yes, with Dimension Door, I can get like a pinpoint location as well. So when I was looking around at these, we call them struts.
Yep.
Is there any kind of like bracketing in the ceiling where I could appear high above everyone out of sight, or is it like I'm there on the floor and that's kind of my
Because of
only
how
option?
hastily it was constructed, there's not a lot of.
Okay.
There are.
It's just a
trellises
matter
and
of
stuff
do I
over
do
top,
this covertly or do I do this? I have a bomb if you if you want to live, get out kind of thing.
Well, I don't know. That's up to you. I think like there is that.
the unseen servants can't fly.
Yeah.
So
No, that-
you can start higher up.
I have a thing for that too.
There is
But yeah.
there is that giant conveyor, like not conveyor belt, but the I'm literally just thinking.
Oh, yeah, the hooks.
Sure, there's a name for this,
Yeah.
but it's literally just like a dry cleaner.
Yeah.
So there's the
Yeah.
big kind of oscillating thing up there. So you could actually teleport up there, and that would be relatively hidden and noisy if it's running, and then you could kind of figure your shit out from there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take one of these bottles out of their cases and have that in my hand, and I'm going to Dimension Door on top of this like rail system for the hooks.
Okay, so you teleport in, and the machine is not operating when you arrive. It's stopped, and there is just a general kerfuffle going on the floor, the slaughterhouse floor. You can see a bunch of these jacked up butchers, like standing around, armed. They're all holding like cleavers and other things, and they are in just like a shouting match with like a bunch of black cloaked figures who are also shouting back. and kind of gesturing wildly. And there's also just some straight up sort of like what you'd identify as gang toughs. So like bloody hand, cutthroats who look a lot rougher. They're very clearly visually exuding like Extra in the Warriors or Mad Max film. Like they're very clearly dressed for intimidation and to signal, hey, we are a fucking gang. They've got red tattoos up their arm, everything
Fully
else.
dispensed with the cover of being butchers.
What's interesting is you're seeing three distinct groups here, which is new. So you've got the Bloody Hands, who are very clear, like, we're the Bloody Hands. You've got a bunch of butchers who don't seem to have the tattooing, do seem to be working with them. You had been told previously that the butchers themselves are a crew. And then there's these sort of shadowy figures. From up here, can you roll me a stealth? I know I need you to roll 2 1s or it doesn't matter, but go ahead, please.
This is an 18. I rolled a 3, so it's within reach.
Bitch. So basically the argument you're hearing beneath you is the representatives of the Dead Three are like, there's basically 3 separate groups arguing about how badly everything has gone. The lead butcher, whoever's sort of the biggest of the crew,
Not Mr. Toots.
yeah, it should be Mr. Toots, right? Mr. Toots is just like slamming his cleaver into a table, and he says, "We didn't all come all the way over here, move our entire operation so that we could just end up murdered by the fucking town watch because you idiots can't figure out how to summon your dead gods or whatever, and you motherfuckers can't even kill 2 random tourists. Why are we even here? And where the fuck is the boss? I mean, we expected that you bloody hands would be able to protect us here, and lo and behold, you let a bunch of cultists work in the basement, and all of a sudden we got heat coming down on us." And one of the representatives of the Dead Three is like, the Lord Baal, when he comes to this realm, will reward you greatly if you stop shouting at us. The Lord of Murder is very merciful." And another one's like, "No, don't listen to him. Bane is the man who will help us. And yes, truly, we have been having some difficulties since our leaders were murdered some time back. Sure. But look, it's going to be fine. Just let us conduct our rituals in the basement." The Bloodhead's like, "We didn't sign up for any of this. We signed up to be the best, toughest gang in this whole fucking neighborhood, not to protect a bunch of fucking working class blokes. Also, stop drinking those potions." And sure enough, you see the flash of red from butchers taking sips off of these wolf potions.
Oh, that's why they're so big.
There just seems to be general chaos on the floor, and without BJ, Harvey, and Bob, no one is there to broker this. Also, it really seems like, as with a lot of these things, they were dealing with 3 people and keeping 3 groups very happy. Without them, none of these groups like each other. So you have free reign to kind of sneak around as long as this argument continues. So that's the scenario you find yourself in. What do?
I am going to cast the cantrip Mage Hand to, from up here, gently place 1 bottle after another of our 4 remaining explosives at key structural points.
Okay. Okay, so 2 of them you managed to place just fine. I rolled 2 good perception checks, but I also rolled a nat 1. So I'm gonna say at one point Mr. Toots catches something out of the corner of his eye, and then the representative of Merkel, the Lord of Bones, clocks him with a femur. And he's just like, "You keep your eyes on me, Mr. Toots. This is an important conversation." So he misses that one, but they do see the placement of the final vial, and Mr. Toots literally just grabs him by the head and throws him against the wall. He's like, "What's that?" And everyone turns and just watches as one of your bottles lands. And he turns back to the Dead Three representatives. He's like, "Is this some of your bullshit?" Quinny, what do?
I'll say, no, it's mine, the Hitman. I've rigged this place to explode. Run right now if you care for your lives. And I'm going to charge up an Eldritch Blast. No, they're both actions, so I can't do both of them. But I'll take out the scroll of Magic Missile. I only need 1 of these to go off for the rest to go off.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So, I'll take out the scroll of Unseen Servant. I only need 1 Unseen Servant. We'll have 3 extras for whatever bullshit we want in the future. And say, and I'll say to I'll just start reading the thing for the unseen servant. I'm assuming it's like an action, so it happens. And
Sure, yep.
And I say, go set off that explosive.
Here. As the unseen servant falls, hits the ground.
I'm not super high
really
up.
specific. I think they have 1 HP. Let me check for you.
Oh, really? That's very funny.
I can look it up. I got it here.
Oh,
I thought they had 5 for some reason.
oh, I think it's not. Unseen Servant. It has AC 10, 1 hit point, a
Nice.
strength of 2, and can't attack. If it drops to 0 hit points, then spell it.
Are these hooks 10 feet off the floor?
I mean, you're on the ceiling, so
Because the
yeah,
hooks are low enough for people to grab the meat things, right?
yeah.
I guess I wasn't thinking
I
it
was
was that high
imagining
up.
this is very high, but you're
Oh,
right.
sorry,
No,
that's
it's okay.
maybe-
But for people to be able to grab the meat, you're right.
Well, it also depends. Does it go down to the sections with the meat and then back up to move over things, or is it in around the edges?
I'd
of the
imagine
room
it was just a
thing?
big roundy thing, and the meat slabs are huge, but that doesn't make any logical sense. So no, I think Tyler, I'll take your argument on this. This makes sense.
Okay.
So
I'm fine to
No, you
completely
just-
beef it too.
you-
That's fine. That's
you're-
funny.
as the unseen servant rolls its shoulder
Yeah.
unseen,
I
runs
have
for the bomb.
the Eye of True Sight, so can I see the unseen servant?
It's an invisible, mindless, shapeless force.
I think I can see invisible things.
But it's just a force. It's not
okay.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not something that's being
not like an
invisible.
ant.
It's
Yeah.
invisible
Okay.
by nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, you just see like a swirling tendril of magical energy just fly directly at the bomb and just slowly become like you watch as it narrows to like an arrow. At which point I assume you.
Yeah. If I'm not interrupted, also it doesn't matter. Like these guys, they're done. If they didn't start running immediately at the,
I mean, they did, but there's also a bunch of them. There's hanging meat hawks. Also,
Oh,
they all
gosh.
hate each other. They're pushing each other out of the
yeah.
way. Like, yeah.
oh well, see ya. Dimension door.
Yeah, and as you teleport out, like you just see Mr. Toots running, shoving people aside, running towards the front door, and he trips over the discarded boot of
Oh no, Laramie.
yep, Laramie Lopsy.
So I'm
Laramie
just
Lopsy.
picturing the Uruk-hai at Helm's Deep as like the unseen servant, and Toots is Legolas trying to take
Yeah. Everyone like leaps for him. Toots just starts running. Everyone else is leaping for the unseen servant. Toots starts running, trips over the discarded boot of Lopsy,
Toots defeated by Boots.
Yeah.
hits the ground, looks directly to the camera, and goes, "Oh!" as the demon's fire erupts, and from even to 2 streets over, the walls
Toot
shake.
Streets.
The walls shake, glass breaks as the Ham Hawk slaughterhouse erupts in flame. The flame blasts into the ones next to it. I mentioned that these were bad corrugated walls, so it crumples those walls. You hear screeching metal as the ceilings kind of break and collapse on those, and a giant kind of puff of foul-smelling dirt and
Everything
dust
smells
and
like
grime.
cooked meat.
Yeah,
It smells like
it's still barbecue. Just like rolls out through the street as further chaos ensues. But the alarm bells of the slaughterhouse fall silent as there was no one left to ring them.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald. Logan, fire unfriendly. Grandma likes D&D. Alan, stabby stranger. Glitch Trick. Flynn1138. Alarain Okapi. Schrodinger's Pepper. Madre de Gatos. Lady Maiden. Mithrian. Garbo Ape. Sam Schaefer. Waffle Marine. Dagger Rain. Rob L. Dia de los Hoodless. Squishy Werewolf. Remy Funky Head. Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky. Lael. Shulzari. The Long Family. Jordan Oliver. Richard Wright. Brittany Fenwick. Alex Parr. Dragonfly. The Body Barrelers. Megan Werner. A Man Out of Time. Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com. Panda24NN. Shendra D. Your Homeboy Bones. Ellis Hatch. Odigenous. Beef Not Cheese. Kai Koa. Squire Solaire. Sandy Sassy Pants. Adam. Amira Lockhart. James Molina. Nick Hemsing. And Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.